Like a lot of you guys, I grew up playing my fair share of browser flash games, and a lot of the time that was through coolmathgames.com, which I was recently informed you can play on your own computer, and you do not have to break into your old elementary school, which would have been nice to hear from somebody besides the police officers. I just really hope the judge is a fan of Papa's Pizzeria. Well, come join me as we take a deep dive into the insane story of Coolmath Games. If you have a smooth brain, you're probably wondering, what is Coolmath Games? Coolmath was an online web portal that hosts thousands of browser flash games that were educational, or at least that's what the title would lead you to believe. I mean, sure, there are plenty of math-related games available, you know, the typical educational games you'd expect to see, but that's not why anybody visited the site. They had a ton of really cool classic flash games that were admittedly a little bit more cool than they were math. I vividly remember rushing to finish my assignments early, just blazing through my rocket math. Did you guys have to do rocket math? That shit was so stressful. Legitimately, I would cry doing rocket math, and the tears and snot from my nose would smear all the answers on the page. It was intense, but I finished my stuff early and go ask the teacher if I could hop on one of the class computers to play some educational games. And they'd usually ask what website we were going on to go play these games. And then I'd hit them with the magic words. Those magic words to chop them down onto bended knee and bow before my might, with only the strength to utter. Yeah, it's got math in the title. I swear every teacher would give you the green light as soon as they heard the name of the website. It was like a cheat code. All of the teachers were saying that the site was only named Coolmath Games because they wanted to get around the school's firewall. And personally, I believed in this theory too. I mean, it was really the only logical explanation people could think of. I mean, why else would you be able to play Bloons Tower Defense on a math website? But it actually turns out the reason for its naming is a lot more wholesome than I thought. I'd like you guys to meet Karen. No, this Karen Lynn Davis. She's the legend responsible for our beloved website. A graphic designer and self-described mathphobe, Karen wanted to create a resource for students who struggled with math, aiming to take a non-conventional approach that actually made it fun. She even published a series of algebra textbooks, or not textbooks, with the same humor and art style of the website. I just wish I knew about these when I was a kid in school. Like, I would have probably paid attention to math more, and I could be doing something really cool right now, like engineering, being a surgeon, or learn how to set up a shell corporation to avoid taxes. So I booted up the Wayback Machine, and I was able to go visit Coolmath and see just how it was back in the 90s. And yeah, it looks about what you'd expect for a 1990s website. You'll notice there isn't much here in the way of games. Instead, it's a lot more focused on math, with links and all kinds of math lessons and resources. At the bottom of the screen, we see a cool links for fun link, which redirects to a website list of, well, cool links, like the Twinkies Project, How to Keep an Idiot Busy, and Wallace and Gromit's official homepage. Listen, Karen, I have a lot of respect for you. Everybody loves you. But Wallace and Gromit are horrifying. But that's pretty much everything on coolmath.com. Now, there was a link to Karen's email, which I'm pretty sure hasn't been used since the Stone Age, because I sent her an email just gushing over her work and asking if she'd be interested in answering a few questions for my YouTube channel, and she hasn't replied to me yet, which has to mean the email isn't working, right? I mean, why else wouldn't she reply, right? Following Coolmath's success, a sister site was launched, focusing on younger students. Enter Coolmath for Kids. And here we really start to get that classic Coolmath Games feel with the hand-drawn cartoons and the psychedelic link designs. Everything looks like it was ripped straight from a laser tag place. I just really love the aesthetic that these websites have. But looking through, we have everything here from traditional math lessons and resources to coloring books, calculators, brain teasers, and even the science movie of the day. It's no wonder the site won so many awards, consistently earning the top spot for math websites in the Internet Kids and Family Yellow Pages, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically just a phone book with website URLs that were screened by the author to make sure that they're legit and, in this case, kid-friendly. But I plan on buying some of these old website yellow pages and checking them out on video. So if that's something that you're interested in seeing, make sure you hit subscribe so that you don't miss it. And if it's not something you're interested in seeing, still hit subscribe, please. Now, what really propelled Coolmath for Kids into the stratosphere was the Game Zone, a subsection of the site that was chock full of mini games, brain teasers, and puzzles. I guess full really isn't exactly the right word. The mere 50 game library pales in comparison to the behemoth that would be Coolmath games, but it was a good start. It was split into two sections: thinking games that will help build your math mind. This section was home to classics like Connect 4, word searches, Concentrate, and the Tower of Hanoi, which I always thought was a teething toy for babies. Apparently it's like a math puzzle. I probably should have paid more attention while I was in college. If we scroll down the page, we get to my kind of section, something to cater towards the brain rot victims like myself, headlined with a warning to get your teacher's permission before playing, which would be easy, because it's called Coolmath for Kids. The mindless games section has the good stuff. Non-educational, pure fun. I didn't see any of the iconic Coolmath games here, but it's clear that this was laying the groundwork for what was to come. The success of the Game Zone spawned the website we all know and love. In 1997, Coolmath Games was created. It was a flash game portal sporting thousands of flash games. Some were made by Coolmath Games, but for the most part, they were licensed from independent developers. And this was the case for pretty much all of their most popular games. I'm going to go over some of the most popular games on the site, as well as some of the ones I have the fondest memories of. So let me know in the comments if you guys have played any of these or what your favorite game from the site was. If I asked you to name a single game from the website, there's a very good chance that this game right here would come up more than a few times. Fireboy and Water Girl was a puzzle platformer created by indie developer Oslo Albert in 2009. You control Fireboy and Water Girl as you traverse each level to get to the end. The kicker is that the characters can't pass over sections of the opposite element, requiring the players to work together to find the best path possible. The thing that really made this game special to me was that it had local co-op. One person used WASD and the other person took the arrow keys, meaning you could play on the same keyboard, and it was a big commitment. Asking someone to play Fireboy and Water Girl was the 5th grade version of a marriage proposal. Like, it was a big deal. But with all that said, you could argue the game had some educational merit. I mean, not in the traditional sense, but it helped with problem solving and critical thinking and some teamwork skills. But that can't really be said about the next game. Run is the site's most popular game franchise. It was a runner developed by Joseph Cloutier in 2008 and was consistently at the top of the popular game list on the front page. So much that it spawned an entire franchise. As of today, there are 2 other Run games, Run 2 and 3, as well as a port to iOS and Android. The game had such a cool mechanic to separate it from the rest of endless runners at the time. While running through the level, you could jump onto the walls, and the entire level would rotate with you. It worked really well. They implemented it into the levels seamlessly. You'd sometimes be forced to use it, but a lot of the times it just served as another option, or as a last-ditch effort whenever you make a mistake. This game was so addicting, especially playing in the setting I did, with all your classmates huddling around to see who could get to the highest level. I mean, I don't want to brag or anything, but I was top of the class a couple of times. It's no big deal. I couldn't find much info on this game, or really any, but I know it was one of my classroom's favorites, so I'm willing to bet some of you guys really like this game as well. But one of my fondest memories from elementary school is whenever we got the teacher to put the game on the smart board, and everybody was taking turns trying to get through levels, and it was a really good time. The game's a pretty simple puzzle game. You use the arrow keys to rotate the screen in order to guide the little ball guys into the bubble. Like I said, it wasn't anything super complex, but it was a fun puzzle game that tested your reflexes and your timing as well. I personally have a lot of fond memories with this game, so I just had to put it in. Now, this is probably the most well-known game on the list. Most of you have probably played it on another website or another flash game portal, but it's probably the only opportunity I'll get to talk about it, so shut up. Bloons Tower Defense was created and produced by Ninja Kiwi in 2007. It's arguably one of the most popular tower defense games of all time, and with its quirky, family-friendly theme, it assured people of all ages could have fun playing it. Being as popular as it is, the Bloons game would go on to release on various platforms, including iOS, Android, PSP, and the DS, which I actually didn't know they had like actual handheld ports of this game. It plays pretty much like a traditional tower defense game. You have to prevent the Bloons from reaching the end of the map by placing towers down, which this game are either monkeys or monkey-powered machines. These towers range from attacking and popping the Bloons to applying temporary effects to them, like slowing them down, freezing them, stuff like that. Money is gained from popping balloons and completing waves, which can be used to purchase more towers or upgrade existing ones. That could really fill up a whole video talking about how great this game is and all of its sequels, but just take this as your sign to revisit it. There's an extensive line of pop-up blankeria games, 20 to be exact. They're all pretty much the same though. You get an order, you make the food, and then you serve it to them, often with mixed results. It lets you relive all the horrors of working in the food industry without even getting paid for. The self-proclaimed world's hardest game is a platformer, I think. Or puzzle game? I'm not really sure what to call it, but you control this little cube and try to guide it through the maze without touching any of those nasty balls. This was another game that myself and my classmates were obsessed with, and if you could get to the highest level in the class, you were the coolest dude around. With the recent explosion of social media in the last 15 years, companies new and old were all trying to get a slice of the virtual pie. It was a new age gold rush. This time they were looking for something more valuable than gold: Twitter followers. Corporate social media pages usually followed one of two paths. Path one was the professional route, the way that you would assume these accounts would operate, using the platform to inform their customers of new products or updates. Not exactly fun, but informative. Then we have the other path, the shit poster, look how relatable I am, hello fellow kids type stuff. So I'm editing this video right now, and I'm doing some research on corporate Twitter pages to find evidence on why I hate them so much. And I came across this video that just summarizes everything so perfectly why I fucking hate corporate Twitter pages. I had this long script written out for this part. I'm just gonna throw it out the window and play this video.
His official Twitter account, Wendy's wrote, "How are you a verified account when you're not even verified?" Wow. Here, Wendy's wrote, "Name an actor who isn't trying to live down being in one."
Wow. That's going to leave a mark.
New flavor idea, don't. To which Oreo responded, "We get it. Flavor isn't for every."
Oh, snap.
Wow.
Reactions after reading the tweet pissed me off so bad. Oh, it's so quirky. Oh, it's a corporate Twitter page. Oh, it's so funny. They shouldn't be doing that. I'm getting heated. I'm starting to sweat. I'm gonna go eat an ice pop and try and calm down. Let's get back to the video. It just feels so disingenuous. Maybe because it was written by a social media team in a conference room, or because it's coming from a multi-billion-dollar company trying to relate to the average Joe. Coolmath is a little different though. Their pages are actually pretty good. Yes, they take the same approach of, hey look, I'm a big brand and I shouldn't be posting this kind of stuff, but it feels better coming from them. They aren't some mega corporation, and their posts pander to the nostalgia people have for their games, instead of just posting memes to be like, hey, isn't this so quirky that we're posting memes? But the whole reason I wanted to talk about their social media is because of the ARG they ran from their Instagram. Yeah, I know, a Coolmath game ARG sounds like a fever dream, but here we are. On October 23rd of 2023, the Coolmath game's Instagram made a post showing files from a scrapped project that were never meant to be dug up, and this led people to speculate on the possibility of a Coolmath ARG. And long story short, it was. They ran a very successful ARG from their Instagram account, and it was really, really cool. There are a ton of other videos that explain everything in great detail, so definitely check those out after this video. Let's talk about the current state of Coolmath games. At the end of 2020, fans were worried about the state of the website in the face of Flash shutting down. Rumors started cropping up about the website shutting down, but Coolmath Games put an end to those rumors, confirming that all future games would be in HTML5, along with the classics in the current library being converted so they can still be played. So if there are any games you want to revisit, you'll most likely still find it. I will say I do miss the old art style of the website. I get they wanted to modernize it, but in doing that, it kind of just looks like every other game website instead of having a unique art style to set it apart. Maybe that's just me looking through rose-tinted glasses at the old design, but I just really miss it. But if old nostalgic games are something you're interested in, check out some of the other games we've gone over, like Ed, Edd n Eddy the Game, or Avatar: The Last Airbender for PS2.